It's Monday, the 22nd of September, 2025, and we are with Lamin Mane, Deputy Secretary for External Affairs of the United Democratic Party. We are looking at the problems of the party and how they plan to resolve these ahead of the 2026 elections. As Deputy Secretary for External Affairs, what are you doing to solve some of the internal problems of the party, especially since Talib's decision to withdraw from the flag bearership contest and his decision to quit as national organizing secretary? By the way, has that vacancy been filled, or does it remain a vacuum?
No, for the moment it's not filled because, as I said, we are a very process-oriented party. There are rules for this. The people sitting in those positions are selected by Congress. So once they resign, or God forbid they pass away or become incapacitated, the positions can only be filled by Congress or in the interim by the Central Committee. When Congress is not sitting, the Central Committee plays the role of Congress. So Central Committee will be convened to meet and select the replacement for those people. Mr. Dabo or anybody else cannot replace them. No, they have to be elected by Congress or by Central Committee.
I suppose it's a very important position.
Yes, it is.
It needs to be filled ASAP.
It is, just like the position vacated by Tombong is very important. The position vacated by Karafa Sonko and Lopi are important. These are campaign and deputy campaign manager. They have to be filled. Communication has to be filled. People will step in the interim.
There may only be a dozen, but very important dozen people, eh?
Yeah. I mean, everybody in that 65-member National Executive Committee is important. Every single one of them. But the thing is, nobody's replaceable. Nobody's indispensable. You know, I have this fond memory of my first boss at this, when I came here and I worked at the Senegambia Confederation, a guy called Pierre Diouf, a man I love. When we were there, he used to say to us, who among, when things get difficult, say, who amongst you thinks is indispensable? Raise your hand, I'll fire you immediately. Because basically nobody's indispensable. You can't do a great job for any institution and nobody wants to lose the good people. Nobody wants to do that.
Well, you've lost
them. But when they go, you have to function without them and you have to replace them, and they will be replaced.
The show must go on, as they say.
Yeah.
So how do you...
Barrow left UDP. He is the president. The show is going on, and stronger and better. Well,
he formed another party and has succeeded in preventing you being in government. So that's major, isn't it?
Yeah, the point that they prevent us being in government is by stealing our victory. But again, that's what happened in 2021.
If he was in the UDP, perhaps he would help you steal victory, and then the UDP would be...
No. UDP wouldn't steal any victory. UDP will go out and fight any election fairly and win it squarely. We don't believe in cheating. We don't believe in corruption. We have zero tolerance for all of those things. We will win the election. We'll win it fairly and squarely.
I know you're itching, to talk about other things, but let's, deal with this question once and for all and move on. How do you interpret your role in stabilizing the party at this crucial point in its history?
Right. The party is already stable, Peter.
Is it?
Those people have left. The jobs they were doing...
You just told me that more will follow. So there can't be stability when more people will be exiting the party.
But that is the life of a political party. People will come and go. Until 2026 and beyond, people will come and go. People have at one point disagreements with you for whatever reason. You try to keep them. We don't want to lose anybody. Nobody in a political party wants to lose its members because parties live on membership and support. But when people decide to go, they exercise their democratic right. You've got to accept that. All those who left, what we say to them is, hey, we did a great job together. We achieved a lot of things together. So you've left, well, we wish you good luck, and the show goes on. And that's what we're saying to these people. We have no rancor or animosity against anybody who left the party. We tell them we wish you stayed. But you've gone. you know.
The speculation is Talib might leave the UDP eventually and head a new party, form and head a new party.
It's a possibility, yeah. It's a possibility. As I've been telling you, Barrow left the UDP and formed NPP.
When he does that,
Sorry?
when he does that, if he does that, more people will leave the UDP to join him, apparently.
Maybe, but I will tell you, again, it will be a trickle. UDP is very strong, the base is solid. You see, if we see people leaving our base...
Given that scenario, can the party still win on its own in 2026?
Absolutely. You see, look at what's happening today. A number of regions, people are coming out from the grassroots and saying, hey, you know, Talib, we supported you because we are UDP. We put you forward, we supported your candidature. Now you are no longer UDP, as to how they perceive it, or you are going again. We are not going to follow you wherever you go. We are staying UDP. But the point is, Talib has not even left yet. But these are probably cautionary shots that people are firing. Tell him, if you leave without us. But he will have other people, other supporters in the country. That's what politics is all about. So he can go if he chooses to, because that's the life of any political party. It's not going to be the same thing. Change is the only constant thing in any society. Change will happen constantly. So he may decide to stay, and I hope he does. But if he goes, as I said, your Pierre used to tell me, nobody's indispensable, nobody's replaceable.
He hasn't left the party yet. He only left an executive position.
Exactly.
And the language aimed at him from some of the hardline supporters of the UDP
and which
has been terrible.
I personally haven't seen those yet because I'm not very active on social media. So there might have been cases of those, hotheads out there, and those hotheads, we condemn them constantly. And some of them you don't even know, because some of them are doing this on the fake names. Some of them, the ones we know, if they go ahead and step out of line, we call them and we caution them and we tell them to cut it out. And none of those ones I've seen. I've seen people challenge him for what he did, but to be rude, no, I haven't seen that.
And even if he goes on now to exit the party, resign from the party and start his own thing or join any of the other existing parties, and people now,
we still would not condone anybody being rude to him.
Ratchet up, yes, the inflammatory language. Would you still condemn them?
Absolutely. I mean, I am very critical towards Barrow. He's the president. But I never disrespect him. I don't. Or anybody else. I will tell you the truth. I will speak my mind, but I don't disrespect you. And we would not condone anybody being disrespectful to Talib or any other person for that matter. He was one of us. You probably realize I refuse to talk about Mamadou Sabali. He was with us.
Why?
He was with us. We did a lot of good things together. He left, and I thought that was his democratic right to go if he chose to go. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with his position, but I respect it. It's the same thing with Talib. If he were to choose to go, I hope he doesn't. But if he does, I would still respect his right to leave the party and go do something else. But I would not condone anybody disrespecting him. Telling the truth, yes. Saying things the way they are, yes. But within the realms of courtesy and respect for each other. I wouldn't want anybody to speak to me like that, and I wouldn't speak to anybody like that. But if you choose to speak to me like that, it just shows who you are. I don't care.
We can spend the whole day just talking about UDP and your role in that. But we have to stop by half past the hour.
One thing I just want to say before you leave that, Talib is somebody I try to work with very closely with it, For example, when he was having issues with the president some years back, and Musa Drame, I walked into his office and said, you know what? I asked him for an appointment. I called him. I said, can I have an appointment to come and see? He said, yeah, sure. I went to see him. I said, don't respond to the President Musa Drame. The best way to respond to them is do development work in the community. Let me help you design projects and help you seek funding for them. That is the best response. When you implement those projects and you have an impact on the community, it will work better. He said, good idea. He said, talk to my brother Aziz and J. Paul, a lawyer friend of his. I said, great. I called his brother, as he said, great idea, let's do it. I called J. Paul, and he said, oh, no, that won't be necessary. I'm already mediating between him and the president. I said, oh, really? He said, yeah. I said, but they're not mutually exclusive. You can do that and we still do these things. He said, yeah, no, it's okay, don't worry, hold your fire. I called Talib, I said, this is what the guy said, what do you think? He said, okay, I'll talk to them, I'll get back to you. They never did, so I let it slide. He was setting up a sort of a outfit for low-cost housing. He called me and said, I want you to sit on the board, can you come and help us do this? I said, sure, but I have to see first what you're doing before I do anything. He sent me a gentleman, a British national, who came with his documents for the low-cost housing. I looked at it. I said, there are a lot of flaws in here. So I told the guy what I think he was getting wrong, how we could improve it. So we worked on it for a whole day, and he said, wonderful, if you improve this document. He went to see Talib and said, great, let's do this. So we started working on that. And he asked me to sit on the board of that low-cost housing project. Mm-hmm. I said, sure. I was there with Lamin Sane and a few other people. We started, but it fizzled out because, the government refused to give the title deeds for the development of those areas. We have some capacity problems, of course, as well at KMC, but we could have handled that. But we didn't get anything to go along those ties. So a few other things happened, but, it fizzled out. But I sat on that too, and we worked on that for a while. To say that I have nothing, absolutely nothing against Talib, if anything, I did what I could to help and to do this. Mm-hmm. And tomorrow, if you were to do some other thing, if I can help in any way, even if it's not in the party, I will help. So let that be clear.
Well, you can help. You can leverage, this relationship that you have with him to convince him to stay in the party.
No, I mean, we've talked about it very, very often in the meetings and we all want everybody to stay, including him. But the ultimate decision is his, like the other people. So we respect people's decisions. We want to keep every single person within the party. But when it happens, it happens.
In the 10 or so minutes remaining, a lot has happened recently.
Yeah.
The latest of which is the leadership at the National Audit Office.
Yeah.
Pure data saga, since we now love this saga word. Russian oil saga.
Yeah.
Passport, diplomatic passport saga, everything is saga.
ID card saga.
Yeah, everything is saga.
Yeah.
Yes, how do you respond? If not from an, official party position, Lamin Mane as a Gambian citizen.
Exactly. Lamin Mane as a Gambian citizen say.
Let's start with the National Audit Office.
Right. Okay. National Audit Office is just confirmation of the illegality that is festering in this government. Peter, the position of Auditor
General.
Auditor General, okay, Auditor General, right. The position of Auditor General is a secure tenure. And anybody who gets appointed to that position under the 1997 Constitution, the National Audit Act, has a tenure of 9 years. Unless he or she reaches retirement age before the end of the 9 years, those 9 years. Other than that, you cannot remove that person. By virtue of that National Audit Act, by virtue of Article...
If you can prove incapacity on their side?
That's why I'm coming to...
Oh, okay.
Because by virtue of Section 158, subsection 4 and 5 of the Constitution, once you're appointed for 9 years. You can only be removed if you are derelict in duty. If you become incapacitated for some reason or another, or if you resign, and the resignation one, that's actually National Audit Act, not in the Constitution, sorry. Yeah. So in those cases, you can be removed from office and be replaced. None of these things happened. He has not voluntarily resigned. He has not been incapacitated. He has not been derelict in duty. He has not had any case of misconduct. So under those conditions, you cannot remove him. And in fact, even if you were to be derelict in duty or incapacitated, there is a whole process that's involved. If he's incapacitated, you have to get a medical board to sit and examine him and certify that he's incapacitated to remove him. The same thing for dereliction of duty and misconduct. None of those things happen. The president all of a sudden decided to move him out of the place. The French have a very good, nice expression for that. coup de pied latéral ascensionnel, a lateral ascensional kick. They promote you to get you out of the way. So they kicked him sideways and would give him a promotion to become minister. And he said, that's not my specialty. I have no desire to become minister because I'm not. So he refused to go. The normal condition would have been to leave him continue with his job. But the president said, no, I am the boss here. What I say will happen, to hell with the sorry, excuse me.
Yes.
Damn the constitution. Let's do what is required. What do I want to do? We'll do it.
Actually, what the president said was he was so competent. He wanted him in, this key ministry of trade, industry, regional.
Good. So that rules out
integration and employment.
That rules out incompetence, right? That rules out dereliction of duty. So the guy is competent. The guy has been derelict in duty.
And the president felt that competence was better needed elsewhere than in the office of the national auditor.
Yes, and he has the discretion to accept that or not. He cannot force it on him. And he said, no, you might want to do that. Thank you very much. You're very kind.
Okay, so
but I'd rather stay where I am.
So the president had this positive view of Modou Cissé. But, we heard in subsequent commentaries somebody suggesting that he had become too political at some point.
They have to prove that. Because what we believe...
Is he a member of the UDP?
No, certainly not.
Has he ever worked with the UDP?
Not as far as I know. I don't think he ever has. I think I would have heard that. I don't think he's ever been a member of UDP.
Because if the suggestion is that, his lawyer is a UDP, flag bearer, whatever.
Not just that, but anybody who speaks truth to power here today, you are UDP. People have accused you of being UDP, accused Fatou Touré, Modou
Just as people have also accused me of being NPP.
Exactly. Yeah. So that is the thing. So this gentleman, as far as we know, has never been a member of UDP. Okay. But the Constitution gives him that protection. The president should have respected that Constitution and the clauses in there. That's an impeachable offense.
Okay, so he hasn't now.
He hasn't.
We have somebody new now that the office has announced.
Yes.
Has started work and things are going very well. So where do we go on from here?
Where we go on from here is that this gentleman is going to court. Fortunately. And if he wins...
Fortunately or unfortunately?
Fortunately.
Okay.
Because we have to uphold the Constitution.
Okay.
We have to fight, people flouting the rules and the Constitution and the laws of the country. He's going to court. If he wins, and I think he will, if the law is applied, the president will have egg all over his face. Because then he would have to remove the current incumbent and bring this gentleman back. And
then the current incumbent would possibly not be removable for the same reasons that you are now arguing here.
No, because he is appointed on an illegality. The exception of illegality, we call it in law.
Okay.
That exception of illegality would make it impossible for him to go ahead and challenge. Because he was appointed
so
on
if
that.
If Cherno Amadou Sow is removed, he can't go to court?
He can't go to court because his appointment would have been based on an illegality. And the illegality is removing the Cissé when he was not derelict in duty, when he was not incompetent, when he was not incapacitated. He cannot do that. Just like when the president removed Yakumba Jaite from parliament. She went to court, she won, she was brought back into parliament. When he removed Bakari Jammeh from the central bank, it's under the same conditions. He appointed that one to trade ministry for awfully coincidentally. And he also said, no, that's not my specialty. I would rather stay governor of central bank. That is where my competence lies, that's where my skills are. And they fired him. He went to court. He did not win. And they refused to pay him anything in terms of his dues and allowances or nothing.
Because he did not win. If he had won.
He did not win, and he should have won. Because
he should have won?
Yes, he should have won, because it's the same thing. It's a secure tenure. The president has no power.
Are you not doubting the judiciary?
In those cases, yes, I am. You see, Peter, that's the thing with me. What you see is what you get. I say the things the way they are. Just like I was in disagreement with them about our petition. In this case, it's the same thing. The security of tenure is there. Why can't you apply that? So the president cannot just remove these people without cause. That's what we say in law. There has to be cause. And there was no cause in the case of Bakari Jammeh. There's no cause in the case of Cisse. So he cannot just do this. Just like there was no cause in the case of Yakumba Jaite. She won. Why didn't Bakari Jammeh win? And I hope Cisse will win.
Okay, let's move on. Jabang, issues with residents and the police, and of course we had issues between the police and protesters, protesting Pura's position on the ever lowering price of data, which is what Gambians have always clamored for. Wanted.
Yeah, and again, that beats me. The service provider feels that they can lower the price of data and still make a profit. And Pura goes against that and says, no, you won't do that. You will do what I say. You will raise the prices.
Yeah, because they say it's harmful to the economy. We want the economy to be strong.
How is that harmful to the economy? Comium is not a philanthropic organization. It's a business venture out there to make a profit. They would not sell at a loss and go out of
that
business.
Is correct, but the higher
the government is saying,
the higher they make in profits, the more they'll pay to the taxman.
Exactly. But by selling the data much less than they are today, they will just get more people buying data. And the more you buy, it's like widening your tax base. So this, again, people will buy more data because they can afford it. Somebody who cannot afford to buy a data at $300 is, if you bring it down to 50 or to whatever, they will buy it. So you'll have more people who could have bought who are not buying. The ones who are buying 300 will still buy maybe 300 or more. So you even get more money coming from that. It's just like when you widen your tax base, you get more money coming in, and you don't have to raise the taxes. Again, if you lower the rate of data here, Gambians are happy, and we get more money coming into into the mobile network operators, and they will pay more taxes to government. So that is a fallacy. That argument does not hold water. So why is Pura doing that? Who is Pura protecting? Pura should be protecting the Gambian people. That's what regulation is all about. It's got to be predictable, it's got to be fair, and it's got to be consistent. So why is Pura doing it? And then the youths go out to protest against that, and you arrest them, throw them in jail, and refuse them bail, and do a whole series of things. For what? These people are also exercising a constitutional right.
For protesting without permission.
Look, the protest, I keep saying, is the principle. The permits are the exception. The constitutional right is to go out and protest. The permit is an exception brought in by a law, which is superseded by the Constitution. And even that law says if you're going out to use public address systems, you need this. Otherwise, the government has the obligation, and they have to understand that, they have the obligation to provide security for the people who go to protest, so that they are protected and the general public is protected. They don't get overexcited and do something wrong. The public doesn't get angry with them and attack them for exercising a constitutional right. That the government should understand. Anytime they give Gala or any other group of people a permit to go on a procession or to protest, it always ended very well. I was in a Gala protest when they went from Iceman to Westfield.
The monument.
It went smoothly. We all worked there, they protested, they gave their petition, and everybody went home. But the government wants to provoke sometimes. They bring in these guys who get angry. You saw the last time when they arrested some of those youths, they just took them and threw them into a truck, like a bag of potatoes or whatever. These are human beings, for God's sake, with their rights.
Because the allegation is they were resisting arrest.
No, they were not. We saw it. They were not resisting arrest. They were just being brutal. And those people have to remember that one day they will call to book. So, this is wrong.
The police were recently in Jabang.
Yes.
Or is that a case you've not been following very closely?
I've not been following
so we'll skip that. Let me do one or two text messages for you. Good afternoon, Mr. Gomez and your guest. This person is texting from East Africa. In my opinion, the UDP should be very worried about those that left, even though he, meaning you, said that they are just few people. But how many people have they been mobilizing, and the harm they will cause the UDP if they form a new party? Remember Jammeh and the GDC? I think the UDP still loves Barrow so much that they don't want him to leave. With this division, Barrow is surely winning again, which will be very sad for the people. ML was texting in from Nairobi, Kenya.
Yeah, and beautiful city. I lived there for years and I love that country, and that city. But, what I'm saying is we do not want to lose anybody. And if we could, we will keep all of them. But if they choose to leave, we have to respect their democratic rights and be thankful for what they contributed to the party, but we move on. And we'll bring other people into the party. More people are coming in. We want to have more people and keep these ones. But if you cannot keep them, we still go ahead.
Good morning, Uncle Peter. I would want to ask your invited guest a question. Each time the party has chosen a candidate other than lawyer Dabo, the party seems to achieve victory without questioning the legitimacy of the election. We saw this in 2016 with a UDP candidate heading the coalition, as well as in recent local government elections where UDP fresh faces were victorious hands down, with no shout of Barrow stealing elections. Does it not clearly suggest that the candidate UDP continues to present since 1996 is not resonating with the wider electorate and therefore not sellable, especially in this generation of young voters?
Yeah, again, there are two things I would take exception with there. One, the selection is democratic, it's the people who choose. So you cannot say you're going to be democratic and then refuse the choice of the people. One. Two, I believe that Dabo never lost any of the 4 elections he contested in this country. There was just massive theft going on, and we all knew about it. Jammeh had his stock of 300,000 in the electoral system, which were distributed all over the place. So that's why he won. That's why he used to say, if you don't vote for me, Jinns will vote for me. There are no Jinns voting for him. It's just the 300,000 that he was distributing. And when he lost in 2016, he asked, where are my 300,000 votes? They were burnt with your office. That was what was happening. And that's what happened again in 2021. The people who did that for Jammeh came back to Barrow and they did the same thing. Dabo never lost any election in this country. There was constant electoral fraud. And we will prove that in 2026.
Jar Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
Axel jam si way.
Yo, apply. Yo, luta do dede. Luta mo nulo jël moto nga andil ma xaalis. Hello? Ano lay wax?
Bisul mu fine.
What?
Bisul mu fine.
Oh, yes!
Wave Axina Gambia. Deposit and withdraw money, pay bills and buy mobile credit without fees. Transfer money wherever in the country for only 1% fee. At Wave. Bisul mu fine? Wave. Your money is yours.